Well, the Johnson & Johnson Innovation Centers are a relatively new initiative that we've launched in the last year. We have the first 3 of them operating now, and obviously here in the Boston Innovation Center, we're well underway. Inside each of these centers, there's technical individuals from the individual businesses of J&J who spend their time here helping us inside the Innovation Center understand what it is that our research teams are trying to be the best in the world at. So they come to work every day with a very clear sense of the kind of innovation, medical breakthroughs that we should, as a group, focus our attention on and really provide the continuity through which we can make investments in innovative projects, working closely with entrepreneurs, working closely with academics if appropriate, to find ways to put money carefully to work, as well as some of our own technical wisdom to work, to advance these observations into prototypes and hopefully into products that can benefit patients. Yeah. Well, convergence, as I think live it and experience it, is all about interdependency. It's about the need to bring technical disciplines closer together to solve problems that individual disciplines typically can't do by themselves. And so if you think of medical innovation, you think of drug development or device development, there's lots of interworking interdependence. And I think this complexity that we'd like to further simplify through innovation is, I think, a tremendous example of how convergence can really, if you will, be leveraged. And so we bring our technical people into the problem-solving statement early on with early research opportunities, with observations that are coming out of laboratories, and begin to help them imagine how the various components of those discoveries could then be reduced to practice to move towards what are hopefully the simplifying and to some degree the validating sets of capabilities that lead towards the development of new types of medical products. So again, convergence is about bringing people of different backgrounds together, really embodied in the research flow that takes an idea through early validation, through systematic, if you will, expansion of our understanding and prototyping, all the way through the complexities that leads to its hopeful distribution for patients across the world. Yeah. I think one of the key challenges when you think about how to deal with and hopefully take advantage of the power of convergence is cultural and, in many cases, nomenclature. You know, how do individuals who come from different backgrounds, how do they describe their efforts? How do they abstract, if you will, the technical attributes? And oftentimes those are, to some degree, quite different than a different set of individuals from different backgrounds, different communities will think about problem solving. And so finding a way to get to shared language, you get to finding a way of working together in a more collaborative context where some of the things that get in the way are in many cases governance, and in some cases ownership, and some cases institutional barriers that deal with confidentiality or how something might be commercialized. If you can find mechanisms by which you can minimize those sets of barriers and allow people to feel freely comfortable in articulating in their own way, the kind of way in which their background can be contributory towards some form of product development, we think that these sorts of things can be tremendously valuable. Again, it takes work. It takes, I think, a shared commitment that that's the kind of problem solving that is the most impactful, and I'm certainly a big believer in fact, that's what the world has to get better and better at. Yeah. One of the important parts about the Innovation Center initiative is the fact that we're here problem solving for all 3 sectors of J&J. So J&J, as you may know, is composed of 3 sectors: a consumer product sector, a medical device and diagnostic sector, and a pharmaceutical sector. And it's from all 3 of those sectors that very accomplished technical designees are put into the Innovation Centers to again be part of this problem-solving team. And it'll be, I think, quite likely from that construct, there'll be new types of integrated medical solutions that will emerge from the types of problems that we try to address together, that hopefully, a company like J&J will be one of the more uniquely qualified companies to deliver to the world, where we're beginning to think about how drugs made more useful through devices, or diagnostics made more relevant through consumer-type products, are beginning to pull together, if you will, the full spectrum of ways in which we can intervene, intercept disease processes much, much earlier than we ever have in the past, a key component of what we think is critical for medical innovation of tomorrow. We are in very difficult times as it relates to providing funding for the research community to be able to do the type of work that's needing to be done. You know, I think it's very, very important that we have at a level of sort of societal engagement, a clear understanding of the importance of those types of investments to make available, you know, the types of breakthroughs that I think will have a really tremendous impact on how we handle healthcare costs, how we manage the delivery of these types of breakthroughs in an affordable and hopefully globally distributed way. So, you know, we are going to have to work together, you know, I think amongst a number of different sectors, including the government sector, including the, you know, the financial community, as well as the pharmaceutical and academic communities, in new and novel ways to find ways to be more impactful, to find ways to facilitate access to sufficient funding, to ensure that we come up with the kind of translational outcomes that sustain the system that we have become so proud of, that provide continued understanding and endorsement of the importance of fundamental research and how that manifests itself into all of our lives, and how it is, I think, really a critical component of what we expect for our children's lives as well. And so it is important for us to acknowledge that although these are tremendous moments, they're not moments that are without some, I think, tremendous strain. You know, so finding mechanisms by which we are more effective than we've ever been, more effective from a capital efficiency perspective, more effective from a way in which we move early observations swiftly through to hopefully more expedited, you know, mechanisms by which they are approved and distributed. And there's a lot of innovation that's needed in order for us to be better at this than we have in the past. It's simply not about science. There's a lot of things that I think are more complicated now than they need to be, that all of these things will depend on. So I would say that convergence is going to bring a lot of disciplines together beyond just the technical, as well as a very, you know, foundational societal engagement piece that are going to be required in order for us to be as proud of ourselves as I think we should be.